Okay, so I'm out on my walk, and it is so snowy, and I might have gone a little overboard with the warmthness because it's not that cold. And I'm gonna walk for at least an hour, possibly 2 hours, because my son's doing laundry and he's using the scented stuff, and I just can't be around it. And so I told him I'll just go walk for a couple hours so that he can get his laundry done and I can get my outside time in. And that's that. But we have been dealing with this ridiculous little infestation of moths. And I like to make choices with things that I get that are, one, good for my body, two, good for the environment, and three, good for my bank account or budget. And so I've been getting bamboo toilet paper, and a lot of the options are pretty expensive, and so I try to find the best deals, and I found some good prices on Amazon. I really like Reel, Reel toilet paper, but they're pretty expensive. So I'd get their sales, but their sales are still pretty expensive. And I found a couple different ones on Amazon, which have been great for the last few months. And so those one I've been getting for the last 2 months it's Amazon Basics. And of course it's made in China. And so last week I'm noticing we have some little moths. And so my son looked it up, and they're called Indian moths. And then I told my mom about it, and she's like, well, they can grow from old grains, which we don't have, or other things. And so on Sunday, I just couldn't get myself settled to do work. I just had to figure out where these moths were coming from. And I had remembered that on one of the first rolls I opened of this recent box that came the week before last, like the weekend before last maybe, or something like that. Maybe just, so anyways, in the last couple weeks this box came, and I remembered in one of the first rolls, in a square, like in the middle of it, there was a brown line. Like, that's weird. But whatever, didn't think too much of it. Then, a few rolls or so later, it's covered with this recycled paper covering that you have to take off. And in the little part that bundles up into the toilet paper roll in that hole, it was like debris. So it was seemed like it was dirt or something, but I was like, okay, remembering that. So then I opened the box up on Sunday to get more toilet paper out to put in the bathroom, and then a bunch of moths swarmed out at me. Not like horror movie style, but there was quite a few moths, and there was some dead ones on the inside of the box. So I talked to another friend about it, and she was like, well, maybe, because I had found that one in the toilet paper. So at first I'm thinking, because my mom because of what my mom and my son had said, I looked it up and tried to figure out more about it, and it said, if you have those and you have rodents, but we live in a little apartment upstairs and there's no rodents, but the facility, the storage facility, or also the factory where the stuff was made, my friend was thinking that maybe it was made with the larva, and then it just hatched once it came to us. Oh my gosh. But it's been such a freaking nightmare. I mean, at first it was entertaining, and I'm like, like grabbing them in midair, which is really entertaining. And my son says that he's impressed by my ability to do that, and it makes me feel happy. He's like, Mom, I'm so proud of you. And I'm really impressed that you can just grab them midair. Because I tried to save bugs. I tried to save things, and I'll catch them, but they're so little, they'll like crawl out of one of the sides of my hand, and it just happened before I left. I was trying to catch one, and it crawled out. I guess I'm repping Carhartt right now. Anyways, but crawled out of my hand, and I didn't know where it went, and I was trying to get it outside, but I keep having to smush them, and when I smush them, I feel so bad, and I'm like, I'm sorry, or like, be blessed in your next life, but they're just everywhere, and I was having this anxiety about them being in our water filter, and I went to go fill the water filter, our Berkey, and on the pitcher that I used to fill it, there was one on the tip. And I was like, oh my gosh, so I have to wash the whole thing. And then I can fill the Berkey up again, but they've just been everywhere. It's ridiculous. And I returned the toilet paper, and I had put it outside on Sunday, the box of the toilet paper for the UPS person to take. And then I didn't, because it was supposed to snow, I didn't want the box to get ruined and like all messed up and, water damaged. And so I brought it back in, and Monday morning there was more moths. And so then I found some puncture holes on the box, and so I taped them with some packaging tape, clear packaging tape, and then I put it outside with like a plastic bag thing, a mouse pad that I had to get rid of that got ruined, and then a big log to hold it down, because since the box wasn't completely full, the tabs were the cardboard flaps were not being able to stay secured with the tape. So it's been very interesting. Just walking out of my room and like being attacked by a moth into my face. It's just like, and then it's really funny because when I crawl up on the counters or get on the ladder to get them from the walls or the ceiling, they just sit there. They don't try to run away like spiders do or anything. It's like, I told my son, it's like, they're like, take me, just get me out of here. I'm ready for my next life. And man, because I've got so much schoolwork to do to catch up on, because of that's been just kind of, taking up some extra time. And so I'm a little behind in my computer class now, and I'm trying to get myself to sit, and so I don't usually have caffeine. But in the mornings I usually have some cacao or a little bit of matcha. And then today I had mud water, and just even noticing like a little bit of caffeine, I get really intense anxiety. And yesterday it was really bad. I had to just kind of like paint through it and then journal through it and then do some housework and then go for my, I had to do some extra exercising yesterday. I got on my stair stepper and did some reading for one of my behavioral health classes, and then got on my treadmill and ran a couple of miles and then walked a few miles listening to my class lectures. But I had looked at these fears that were being brought up and trying to figure out the root cause of them, and I had then just talked to my brother and my mom and another friend about things that I needed to just pull out of me and communicate about, and talk to my son about some things. But man, anxiety can really get you. And yesterday I realized sometimes anxiety can really make you feel like you're in the middle of an ocean, and you have no paddle. And to me, like tools, like journaling or painting or talking with somebody, these are like tools. These are like paddles to help you be able to work through the anxiety or the thoughts or the waves of emotions or whatever is going on. And so trying to get myself into a place of feeling calm to be able to get through my schoolwork and actually like do the sit down parts, it takes me so much work because I deal with so much anxiety and I have so many like fears and worries and things that just go through my mind, and I'm just like so man, yesterday I did 8.95 miles. I mean, obviously I probably did more than that from walking around my apartment and this and that, but that's pretty intense. And then that's on top of going for 30 minutes or 40 minutes actually on my stair stepper, doing some reading for one of my classes, behavioral health class. But I'm so grateful, it takes years of trauma, years of going through really hard challenges and different experiences that put you into a place of having such intense anxiety. But then when you get to a place of knowing what it is that helps you work through it, that's a really good place to be. And so, yeah, this video started off with the moths, but I really wanted to get to talking about that, and because I like to express my own experiences, which is why I'm working on becoming a therapist, so that I can help other people who deal with these challenges, because it can be really debilitating. I don't like to hang out with people very much. There's a few people I'll hang out with sometimes, but it's not very often and not for very long, and it's usually doing something like going for a walk but I'm very careful about being around people too much because I'm very sensitive and I feel things, and I gather information from these people who I hang out with, and you can tell who actually brings out more anxiety for you or triggers you. And yep, sometimes it's good to look at these triggers and see how what's causing them and why it's causing them, and how you can work through it, and then understand the root causes and why these things are triggering you and why these people are triggering you. So it is important to go through that process, because healing is not always going to be comfortable. Healing is actually very uncomfortable, and healing and growing is actually taking the time and energy and awareness to look at yourself, look at your life, look at these hard things that you've gone through, and be like, all right, what has this done to me? Why has it done this to me? And how has it helped me? And so I noticed some of my friends were always very because I can be very negative, and I can be very focused on the challenges and not think about the good things or the good outcomes that happen because of these challenges. So, we're all different, but I am also very positive thinking a lot of the times, and it takes, both sides of that spectrum to be human and to go, to keep going forward, to process through things. And well, I'm very grateful to be at the point of knowing what things help me and understanding who and what I need to stay away from in order to feel at ease and at peace, and also understanding sometimes there's going to be people, things, or whatever that take me into those places, transformative places. Just kidding. Honestly, okay, maybe, but there's also people, that we should stay away from because they're just harmful for us. I've been very aware of that with a lot of friendships that I've had in the past. I'm like, man, this person was my best friend, but they weren't actually my friend. And I'm sure, like, if some of you have seen some of these recent videos that I did of, like, when good friends say not very nice things, like, there's always going to be those people that we value, and I use the word put on a pedestal, but we all do that. People that we love, our parents, close friends, partners, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, all these people that are close to us, yes, we're going to put them on a pedestal. And of course, being human, being born into a family, you're going to look up to your parents, and you're going to look up to these people who are older than you. And I tend to be friends with people who are older than me because I'm just an older mind, older soul, and I also like people who are younger than me, and some that are my age, but we all have different personalities and different things that we value in life, and so we connect with people for different reasons. And I don't know about you, but I am the kind of person that since somebody's older than me and more accomplished than I am, they are above me. And so that's, even if it's somebody who's my age, but they've done more in life because, well, they didn't have kids and they didn't have a mean ex-husband. They didn't have all these extreme challenges that dragged them down, and, financial difficulties or other things that lower their self-worth. They were able to go to college, get a good job, do the things that they wanted to do, and had the freedom to explore the world and, do all these things because they didn't go through the challenges that I went through, but they've gone through their own challenges. But when these people that I look up to say these things that make me feel like, well, that's not very nice, because these things were, things I was passionate about, it helps me see, okay, well, maybe these people, they were good for me, and then now they're just, now I can see, like, we're all just human, and we all have different views of the world and views of what we're each capable of. And one of them, the one who told me I should drop out of school, also told me I should just be a teacher and that I should not become a psychologist. But that's my dream, is to become a psychologist. When I took a Psych 100 way back in 2012, I did really want to become a psychology professor. But that's something I could see myself doing when I'm like 80, 75, I don't know, when I'm older. And I'm like, all right, now it's time to turn the table around and teach what I've learned. So I think it's important, to see where you're at and where you want to go and not hold yourself back and not let other people hold you back, because people are going to say things and they're going to do things from their own perception, from their own experience, and from their own reality, because we're all living different realities in this projection that is the human experience, so we're all downloading information every day. We're consuming and consuming and consuming lots of information, and because of where we were when we were children, we download so much information when we're in the womb, And then, even when we're just babies, we're observing our parents or our guardians or the people that we're around. We're observing life. Before we can speak, before we can crawl, we're absorbing and downloading our truths, or the things that become our truths. And they might be things that now we're, when we're adults, or even when we become teenagers, and we start processing things like, this is not how I want to see the world. This is not how I want to do things. And we start changing that story for ourselves and communicating about ourselves and how we feel about things, and start adjusting the way that we perceive life. And we're just trying to figure it out. But a lot of these things are so deeply embedded in us that it takes a lot of work and self-awareness to start being able to change this process of thinking and understanding. But I'm the kind of person, I just kind of like hide away for a while, then I just kind of come back out. But I've been very self-conscious for a while. I've been very self-conscious for my whole life. But I think recently I've been very, very self-conscious and really noticing things about myself, about life, about my history, about the things that I want to do in my life. And like, man, all right, both of my kids are almost fully grown. One of them is, and the other one is almost there. And I am grateful that I decided to stop trying to date. I'm grateful that I decided to start focusing on me. And of course, I'll always be a mom. But I'm so grateful to have time to just I can just go and walk for hours. I can go and be at one of my favorite beaches for hours. And I can come home, and I am very fortunate to have such a sweet son who helps me out. And I'll come home and he's folded all the towels and rags that I washed, or he'll have taken care of the dishes that I've been building up. Or some days I come home and he hasn't done anything, but he is so helpful. I'll be washing the dishes in the kitchen and he'll come in and start drying them and putting them away. And I feel so fortunate. I get in this place of feeling like, man, we should be in a house by now. I should be making money by now, but I'm still in school and still on assistance and still struggling. But I am so, so fortunate. I've got friends and family who support me and love me and care about me and send us great gifts. My older brother just sent us a big box of soaps, and I'm allergic to scented stuff, but I was able to communicate with him and let him know, Allison's excited because I have to get boring stuff that he doesn't like, so he can use these things, and I'll leave the apartment to go for a good long walk so that he can do his laundry. And since my bedroom is the laundry room, but, it's God, the universe, all of this it's like I'm always being shown that I'm on the right path. I'm doing what I need to do to keep moving forward and working on school, working on my healing journey, and processing through all the muck, and feeling really grateful that I can be here, that I am still alive. And although these moths are, kept saying, these moths are going to be the death of me, but they're not. They're going to go away. And I've even had to vacuum some up. Oh, I feel so bad. But anyways, there are lots of things that I could have been should have been, or like I could have, or could be doing, but I'm in school because I want to be in school. And I worked so hard to get here, and I worked so hard to be able to be at home with my kids, even if that means I have to do extra work to get some extra help, you know, but I'll pay it forward, and I do, because I give away my jewelry, I give away my oils that I make. I'm always giving gifts back into the universe, and I feel so fortunate for that also. And because I believe that we're all one, we're all connected, and me healing myself and me taking time to bring peace into my world so that I can bring peace into other worlds, like your worlds, you know, it's like we're all connected. It matters and it's meaningful. So I just have to keep reminding myself these things, that I'm going through a process of healing so that I can better myself, so that I can help many other people learn how to heal and go through a process of loving themselves and healing and working through their own past trauma, well, the trauma that they have experienced that causes them anxiety or panic attacks or whatever else. I mean, literally, emotional disharm, emotional things cause physical things. We hold energy in different parts of our body, and it's a real thing. And once you start going through understanding that connection between emotional and physical, you can start seeing how important it is to work on yourself, and also to be kind to others, but also to stand up for yourself. And something I tend to do is I will suffer so that somebody else is okay, and I have to stop that. And that's something I'm like, all right, this situation is not okay for me, and this thing is not okay for me, so why am I doing it, and why am I saying I'm okay with it when it's causing me harm? It's because I don't want to make the other person uncomfortable. That's not fair to you. And so that's something else I've been noticing and working on. But this is going to be one of the longest videos I've had on here. I try not to get too personal, and I said having a mean ex-husband, but we all go through things, we all go through experiences, and all of it is there to help us grow and to see who we are and to see our potential and push us forward. And I think that one of the things for me, learning to love myself, learning to appreciate myself, learning to accept the things in my past and poor choices that I made and things that I did that were not exactly me. They're not who I am. They're not who I wanted to be. And there's this saying that I've heard it's like, in order to be the person that you want to be, you have to make the choices in order to be that person. And so that's, that is definitely one of the things that I find very valuable, is every day you can make different choices. Every day you can decide what you're going to do and who you're going to be and what you're going to do to take yourself to being the person that you want to be, or the place that you want to go, places that you want to go. And it's like that one poem, Robert Frost, taking the road less traveled. I think that we're all here to take some roads that are less traveled, because we're all unique individuals with purpose, and what we do here matters, and how we treat ourselves and one another matters. So, that being said, I'm going to get my hands in my pockets and go walk myself down a steep hill, and then walk back up, and then walk around a little more, and then get myself home and pop myself in front of the computer so that I can get through all this schoolwork and continue to work on becoming who I want to be. And I hope that this is helpful and makes a difference in your life in some way. Thanks for being here.